Hello and welcome to Varsity Sports Live. Can you believe it? The football season is almost done. Just one game remaining, and that's tomorrow night in South Dakota, where the 11 AAA championship is still yet to come. But everything else is wrapped up, and we are here tonight to relive some of the excitement that has happened over the last day and a half, 2 days. And it's all the way from North Dakota to South Dakota, highlights, reaction, analysis, everything that you are accustomed to on Varsity Sports Live is coming at you tonight. Tom Nieman is getting prepared. He just got back from Brookings, working on the SDSU game, and he'll be with me in a minute. But for now, let's toss it up to Jody Norstedt. Jody, you had a full day at the Fargo Dome. How are you feeling, first of all?
I'm a little worn out. I could use a little time to get ready like Tom, but here I am on the set. No, I'm not calling him out. He works hard.
He does.
But it was a busy day at the Fargo Dome, and it was probably, I don't know, it was the best Dakota Bowl I've ever seen from start to finish. 4 games that came down to the fourth quarter that were absolutely fantastic to watch. We'll get to 3A and 2A in a little bit, but let's give the small schools some love. It started this morning with Langdon Edmore Munich against Hillsborough Central Valley. How about a rematch for the Class A state championship? The Burros looking to finish 24-0 in their stint in Class A before they move back up to 2A next year. Opening drive, Oscar Benson takes it to the house. Feeling good, but not so fast. An illegal motion penalty calls it back. The Burros eventually turned over on downs, but they do break through on their next drive. Don't forget about Micah Gallagher, the quarterback, caps off a 13-play drive, makes it 6-0 Burros. The Cardinals respond. Sophomore QB Simon Romfo was awesome today. He connects with Sean Getty, 50 yards. Romfo's 30th touchdown pass of the year. Helps the Cardinals go up 8-6 after the 2-pointer. The Burros come right back. It's Gallagher on the ground again. Check out this nice gain. A couple of dance moves, slipping some tackles. He rushed for 58 yards today. He gets him down inside the 5. Then it's Ezra Longthorn to the end zone on the pitch. Longthorn. What a sweet name. Burros back on top, 12-8 early in the second. Josh Travarchka's Cardinals answer again on 4th and goal from the 1. It's Romfo finding Romfo. Simon to Grant, the Twins put the Cardinals up 14-12. After a stop on 4th and 1, Romfo and the Cardinals get a chance with 1:31 left in the first half. He finished the 2-minute drill in style. Dive into the pylon with 21 seconds left before halftime. It's 20-12 Cardinals going into the locker room. First play of the second half now. 3 touchdowns in that first half by Simon Romfo in the first half. The Burros catch a break. Romfo gets stripped by Landon Reed. Goes right to Isaac Luthi. They go back to the workhorse, Mr. Benson. Can I have another? He punches it in from 2 yards out. Great year for him. It's a 2-point game. 214 yards on 41 carries for Benson. Fast forward to the 4th. 4th and 5 for the Burros on the doorstep. Trying to take the lead. 1:40 left. But Langdon Sidney Alexander Uyet makes the play of his life. The big tackle on Benson. The Cardinals secure the state title on that big play. A year after losing to Hillsborough Central Valley by 2, they win this one by 2, 20-18. Romfo putting up some insane stats. Jackson Delville, one of his favorite targets, over 100 yards receiving. His brother Jacob was the quarterback last year. Benson, a workhorse effort. But the Burros lose for the first time since moving to Class A. Langdon Edmore Munich. Let's hear from the champs.
I wasn't thinking really much. I was just reacting to what I saw. The coaches put me in good position, and D-line opened a hole for me, and I just filled. They told me to bump over, so I was just listening to them. They put me in a good spot, and I made a play. We wanted this all year. We're thinking about them. You know, we focused one game at a time, but it was a collision course to these two teams, and we wanted to get revenge for them last year, and we did it for everyone.
I just knew one of us had to go make a play, and I think it was Sid. He played a really nice play on that, so I just knew one of us had to go make a play. It feels amazing. It's the best feeling in the world. This is the way we wanted to go out this year.
It's unreal. Like there's not a greater feeling than this feeling right now. They got us by 2 last year. This year, we wanted it bad. We really wanted it. We came out here, and this year we got them by 2. Got them right back.
Last year it was pretty emotional. It's always tough to lose in the state championship game, and we had some pretty special kids last year, and to get back to where we were today and to come out on top, the feeling is pretty indescribable.
Josh Travarchka, the coach of the year as well. Thompson Tom is looking for their second title in 3 years, and 9-man battling New Salem Glen Ullin, a rematch from 2 years ago. After a scoreless first, the Holsteins get on the board. Braden Zaroff breaks a couple of tackles, gets into the end zone. NSGU up 6-0. A few minutes later, Thompson answers. Caden Schwabe, 50 touchdowns on the year coming into this one. Here's 51. The QB keeper, two-pointer good. Tommy's lead 8-6. Later in the quarter, it's Schwabe through the air. A nice little touch pass to Chance Danner. Danner, man, he has really caught fire this season. He gets in another 2 points, puts Thompson up 10 at the half. Started the second half, big momentum swing here. Three-year starter Evan Henke throwing it up for his main man. A pretty pass right to the hands of Zuroff, who takes it 70 yards to the house. The lead is trimmed to 16-14. Boy, those guys have been something else the last couple of years. Thompson gets the ball back in the injury bug bite. Schwabe keeps it on the option, gets taken down hard by Zuroff. A collarbone injury would sideline the senior the rest of the game. Insert backup Clay Odenbach, the lefty, finds a wide open Marcus Hughes who trots in to make it 24-14 Thompson in the third. Less than a minute later, here come the Holsteins. Gonna try to get back some momentum. Henke pumps, lobs it up to Garrett Superior, who is super duper. He comes down with the two-pointer good, and it's a 2-point game. The scoring wasn't finished in this one. Thompson answers with a pair of scores, including this one. Hughes to Hayden Overby for the easy score. A passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, a throwing touchdown for Hughes. He was dynamite. New Salem Glen Allen doesn't go away though. Henke to Superior. They meet up again. The second touchdown of the game for this connection, and they pull within 8 late in the fourth. Schwabe trying to help inspire his guys in the huddle. It would appear that it worked. Hughes plunges in from a yard out to put the game out of reach. How about that? The Tommies hoist the hardware for the second time in 3 years, overcoming the loss to their Mr. Do-Everything, Caden Schwabe. The Tommies take the 9-man title 42-28.
I'm so proud of our guys. There's so many times we could have folded when Caden went down, when they had big plays, but we didn't. We were resilient. We ended up on top.
You know, you prepare your number twos to make sure that if they get in there, they know what they're doing. Our game plan didn't deviate a whole lot other than, you know, flipping things to the left instead of the right. But, you know, I think that's a testament to our seniors and our captains. They're the guys that, you know, made the comments in the huddle, and away we went.
I was wondering if they could pop back into place, but that was quickly shut down. And I mean, I knew our backup Clay Odenbach, hell of a player. I knew he could go in and take charge, and that's exactly what he did. Hats off to him.
Yeah, I was peeking over at him every once in a while, and I saw him take his shoulder pads off, and I came over and talked on one of the special teams, and he said, let's get this done. So we had to do it for him out there.
I knew they could do it, absolutely. Like I said, Clay played a hell of a game. Marcus Hughes went in there, quarterback. Sometimes you can't say enough about him. Just everyone on this team, I love them all to death, and it means so much to me.
They closed the 9-man chapter. They did it their way. They won the final game. They've done everything we've asked. You know, they've had an extremely successful career, and they're better people than athletes.
How about that last soundbite? They're better people than athletes. He says it nonchalantly, but he means it. Thompson, a community that really rallies around its players, around its sports teams, football, baseball, basketball, what have you. A lot of good things. And the Thompson volleyball team going to state as well. So big things going on in Thompson, Janny. So we got our first two champs. Thompson in Langdon, Edmore, Munich, 3A and 2A. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Great reaction, too, from the kids. Yeah. That's one of my favorite parts of championship day, and to see Caden Schwabe, you know, rally around his troops, that's something cool.
Yeah, and it might be a serious injury that lingers into the basketball season for him. So something to look for. Caden Schwabe, just heartbreaking. He was in tears on the sidelines, but by the end of the game, he was pretty pumped up for his guys.
Very cool, Jody. Thank you very much. When we come back, we're going to hit some more North Dakota highlights. We've got 2A, we've got 3A, and then after that, stay tuned for 6 classes of South Dakota football coming up on Varsity Sports Live.
Varsity Sports Live on Midco Sports Network is presented by Avera Orthopedics, Farmers Union Insurance Agency, South Dakota State University, and Farmers Union Insurance.
So we've told you about 2 state championship games. Class A, going to Langdon, Edmore, Munich, a 2-point win over Hillsborough Central Valley, flipping the script. Thompson winning its second title in 3 years by topping New Salem Glen Allen. How about some drama for 2A? The Blue Bloods of 2A, Shanley and St. Mary's. St. Mary's going for a 3rd consecutive state title. Shanley will move up to 3A next year, so they want to end with a win over St. Mary's and get their first state title since 2012. First drive here. Drew Dosh to Connor Pitts. 77 yards on the score, makes it 7-0 St. Mary's Saints. And all of a sudden you're thinking, these kids are pumped up. Something might happen that's pretty good for this Saints team. And something else happens that's good. Cade Busick fumbles. Huge play for St. Mary's. They have all the momentum, and then this happens. Their leading rusher, Joey Heinert, gets hurt on this play. He'd leave the game and he wouldn't return. St. Mary's keeps rolling though. Cullen Curl from 1 yard out, gets into the end zone, makes it 14-0 with less than 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Dan Schmierker thinking his team has a title, but Shanley goes to the bag of tricks here. Talon Hoffer to Austin Manuel, a little double pass move that gets Shanley back into business. Later on the drive, Cade Busick, I think we've seen this a time or two, 1 yard touchdown run for the Shanley quarterback that has been doing that a lot this season. Connor McGovern at halftime, that guy plays for the Denver Broncos. He was back to watch his high school Shanley, and I think that might have sparked him a little bit, because take a look at this run by Carter Kochman, a 60-yard run to start the second half. He's just a sophomore. He is going to be sensational to watch the next couple of years. Then to cap off that drive, Austin Manuel into the end zone from 5 yards, and it's a tie game at 14. Shanley just kept on rolling. Cade Busick back in the end zone, 1 yard touchdown. You guessed it, they're up 21-14. Then Austin Manuel from 42 yards out. Yeah, 42. That's his number too. His second rushing touchdown of the day makes it 28-14. 28 unanswered points for the Deacons. Drew Dosh says, yeah, I know Joey Heinert, our leading rushers, out. We can make all the excuses we want, but I'm going to dance through this defense and take it to the house. 71 yards. Drew Dosh says, we're not done yet. 28-21, that makes it with 7 minutes to go, but Shanley could not be stopped. Busick, in particular, could not be stopped. This is a big first down late, and that clinched it. The Deacons run out the rest of the clock and hoist the state championship. Their first since 2012. They'll move up to 3A next year, but they get it done in 2A this year with an 11-0 record. Boy, Cade Busick carried the ball 41 times, 194 yards, 2 touchdowns. Great season for the Saints, but the Deacons go out a winner.
That guy's a special guy, I tell you what. He's probably one of the craziest but most competitive guy I know, and I love that he's my quarterback.
You know, this is just the greatest feeling in the world. We've worked all year for this. We put a lot into this, and I can't thank anybody more than my teammates and my coaches, along with my parents, for getting me here.
We were just clicking, you know. They came to the huddle and said, hey, you block for us and we're going to get yards for you. So we were just clicking, and it was crazy. It was unreal.
Yeah, the adversity we faced in the first half was huge, and for our kids to not panic, you know, that happens with your senior leadership. Our kids stepped up.
You know, we just sat down as a whole unit and said we just got to go out there and play and keep fighting and not give up. And we all sat down and I said, I believe in every one of you boys out there, and that's what it takes, is believe and trust, and we trusted in each other.
You know, I've been with these senior guys since we were in 4th grade, and just to see them do it, I love every one of them, and I love this team, and I'm so proud of everybody that played their hearts out today.
Cade Kuhnman, great story there, got injured in back-to-back seasons, wasn't able to finish it, but he goes out a state champ too. And how about this one? Bismarck and Century. Let's save the best for last. The 3A teams put on a show. Joe Johnner with a big catch. Then it's Will Mather to Isaiah Izzy Olsen out of the backfield. Makes it 7-0 early for the Demons. Olsen has been absolutely unbelievable this year. After a muff punt that Century recovered at the 1, Bismarck makes his stand. 4 straight stops from the 1, and the momentum is with the Demons, who are perfect on the year. They won the regular season meeting against the Century team. Bismarck driving out from their own 1. Mather rolls out, finds who else? Joe Johnner. Hey, I just started playing football 2 years ago, but I'm pretty good at it. Makes the catch in traffic. Cade Feeney rips him down. How about once more? Mather to Johnner, capping off the 99-yard touchdown drive. The Demons are up 14-0. Well over 100 yards for Mr. Johnner. If you're a Patriots fan, you have to be thinking, uh-oh, wrong wing and back. But right before the half, Patriots get on the board. Austin Underhill with a field goal. Makes it 14-3 at the half. Century gets the ball to start the second half. They go right down the field. Cade Feeney punches it in. Less than 3 minutes into the second half, it's 14-10 Demons. And as Terrell Owens once said, get your popcorn ready. Demons answer. Izzy Olsen flying down the sideline, but wait here. There's a holding, and it's coming back. So Isaiah Olsen showing you the wheels. He has those, no doubt, over 1,000 yards rushing on the year, but It's coming all the way back. After Bismarck punts, Century's thinking about taking the lead, but Matthew Trolley says, He's thinking 6 for the Maroon. 21-10 Demons on top. Trolley is a turnover train. Feeney and Century showed no quit, though. He connects with Trayden Mattern, and then that sets up Nathan Kraft from the 5. He scores. Kraft a powerful bruising back. And just like that, it's 21-16 Demons. So just a 5-point game. Century gets the ball back with 3:15 on the clock and a chance to win it. Can they knock off the Demons? Just under 2 minutes left. Feeney scrambles around and is eventually going to find Kraft out of the backfield for the big gain. He was open. Century with 4 downs to win it. And it comes down to this. On 4th and goal from the 5, they're going to pull off some trickery. It is the reverse pass, a gamble, and it falls, well, let's show you, incomplete. Knocked away by Nick Hins, and the Demons survive and win it 21-16, a walk-off winner for their first state championship since 2012. Will Madler, boy, he's been dynamite. A 3-year starter, goes out as a state champ. 17-21, 185 yards, 2 scores. Joe Johnner, over 100 yards receiving. Matt Trolley with an excellent game. Cade Feeney, boy, he did it all. But a 5-point win for the Demons, who get to hoist the championship hardware.
I just saw Knowles run out with the ball, and I just saw Feeney going on the out route, and my guy was Riediger, and I saw him run across the field, and then Lucas Miller picked up Riediger, and I just followed Feeney and tried my best to get it out. So, thankfully, I did.
I don't know, I was about to not going to watch the play. I was so freaking scared. And then I saw the little reverse, little trick play, and then I saw Nick Hintz coming out to guard whoever that was. I think it was Feeney, but that was amazing. I don't know. We pulled it off. Oh, God, that was scary.
They ran the exact same play a couple times earlier, and I was a little bit late on the out route. I swear to God, I saw it before the play even got snapped. I just ran there. I got it.
I was debating on watching it on the big screen or watching it live, and I'm glad I watched it live because that was a big play. Yeah, growing up, you always hear about Bismarck High State Championships, and to be a part of one, it's an amazing feeling.
For now, it's the number one because that's all you remember is your last one, and it's awful special to be around these kids. And, you know, ever since the new school was built, you know, there's a lot of naysayers saying that, you know, we weren't ever going to get to this point again. Our kids never listened to that, and they kept fighting. And a great senior class, and then, you know, that's what it takes.
Great senior class, you bet. Bismarck goes out on top. We knew they were loaded with seniors, starting with the quarterback, Will Madler, and what he has around him. Canyon Stonecipher went down in this game. He's a pivotal part of that defense. He wins a state championship despite not being able to finish the game. A lot of guys were banged up late. Joe Johnner got hurt. Isaiah Olson got hurt a little bit. But Bismarck, it was the cream of the crop, Jandy. I said it at the beginning of the season, and the Demons pull it off. So we got Bismarck, Shanley, Thompson, Langdon, Edmore, Munich, all winning state championships. So after having a couple teams that were in it last year, we did not have any repeat state champions. How about that?
How about that? And you were not kidding. This was one of the best Dakota Bowls beginning to end. Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, so we had 3 games that were decided by less than a touchdown, and then the only one that wasn't was Thompson beating New Salem Glen Ullin 42-28, but that one was a touchdown lead in the 4th quarter. So all these games were just crazy, right down to the last play. I mean, 4 seconds left, 4th and 1, so they just get one opportunity there, or 4th down, whatever it was, and they pull the tricks, Jandy. The reverse pass doesn't work, and Bismarck is able to walk it off.
You can't write this stuff. Thanks for all the hard work this year, Jody, and congratulations to all those North Dakota teams. Great season.
Yeah, bring us home strong, Jandy.
All right. We got a lot more football to go in South Dakota. Coming up next, we're going to take a look at the 3 9-man classes in South Dakota, including an overtime victory. You will not want to miss this one.
Varsity Sports Live on Midco Sports Network is presented by Andera Orthopedics, Farmers Union Insurance Agency, South Dakota State University, and Farmers Union Insurance.
Welcome back to Varsity Sports Live. Hi, Jandy.
Hey.
Hi, man.
First time I've seen you all day, but you look like you're all ready for the show.
I was just got back from Brookings. South Dakota State's women pulled off a good win tonight over Florida Gulf Coast. So Here we go.
There's also some great high school football.
Let's get to the high school football championships in South Dakota. These are games from Thursday night, Thursday afternoon, and we are 2/3 of the way through. We still got Washington and Brandon Valley coming up on Saturday. But Canastota, Freeman, and Howard in the 9B championship, and let's get to it. And these games on Thursday, none of these teams were in the championships a year ago, so Canastota, Freeman on their opening drive, Trey Ortman to Braxton Schmidt.
The 2 times Howard has been beat this year, they've given up a ton of passing yards. Canastota Freeman came out throwing the ball, but look at this. The answer right away by Howard. I thought we had a close game coming out of the chute.
Zach Party touchdown run there. He had 80 yards. It was 8-6 Canastota Freeman at the end of the first quarter. First play of the second, though, Trey Ortman to Tice Ortman, who had 3 catches for 94 yards.
That passing game again. Look at this 2-point conversion, by the way.
16-6. They get the 2-point to go up by 10.
Look at this.
This was the scramble.
That was the one that made it on SportsCenter.
All right, 16-6. Canastota Freeman in the lead. About 4 minutes left in the half. Quarterback keeper there by Trey Ortman, and it's 24-6 at halftime.
Yeah, the second half, things got away a little bit. The Pride started just mowing them down. Austin Thu shows that power. About 3 stiff arms on that run. And they really pulled away in the second half.
17 carries, 88 yards for Thu. Canastota Freeman goes up 32-6. Isaac Feldhaus set a late touchdown for Howard to make it 32-14, but 46-14 Canastota Freeman. Trey Ortman, the Joe Robbie MVP in this one, and Canastota Freeman, your 9A champions.
Well, I think after our third score is really when I was able to take a breath. But it's real difficult as things progress throughout the game to really settle down at all. You know, our boys, after that first drive and they scored, we knew we were back playing a conference opponent and just needed to go out there, do our jobs, and we would be successful.
We came out and we knew that they got better as a team from the second week we played them. So we came out and we knew they got better, so we had to just hit them in the mouth right away, right off the start.
The line was doing an amazing job blocking. The running backs were doing a great job carrying out fakes and everything. It was just easy for me with the team doing so great.
So this wasn't a bailout. This wasn't anything along those lines. This was a mutual joint effort by both schools to come together to give their student athletes the best chance to play the game of football, a game that every one of them loved. And I'm so ecstatic about the blend of these two communities and what we've been able to accomplish.
Well, it's been 19 years since Freeman's won a state title. I think it's been 3 or 4 for Canastota, but I just really appreciate all the support and everything that they've given us throughout the year, and it's been great playing for the Pride.
It's really cool. Braxton Schmidt from Freeman. Now, you remember 4 years ago, Freeman didn't have a football team, and now they've co-opted with Canastota Freeman, and they've won it on the big stage. Huge turnaround.
And as he said, back in the day, 20 years ago, Freeman was a powerhouse. Yeah. Won a bunch of state championships, and then Canastota had won a bunch on their own, and now Canastota Freeman, as the guy said there, very cool as they get their first state championship as a co-op for Canastota Freeman in Class 9A. All right, Jandy, the second game on Thursday was in 9AA, and you got Bonham and Kimball White Lake. I know you had a vested interest in this ball game, so we'll get to that in a minute, but Kimball White Lake comes out and gets on them early. Carter Fredrickson goes 53 yards.
How about that? Carter Fredrickson, electric. And whenever you get the dome starting to move, you can really smell the momentum. Dale Taylor telling them not to let off the pedal.
Kimball White Lake really got going early. Javen Holland there to Cody Westendorf to make it 14-0, and then they get an interception that leads to another touchdown here for Kimball White Lake. Holland to Justin Becker. It's 20-0.
This is all first quarter. They're up 20-0. They know Bonham has some more bullets in the chamber, and this is what ignited them. Joey Slamo, look at that move. Ridiculous. And then just runs past the rest of the team. 30 yards for the score, and that gets them going.
Kimball White Lake had a hard time bringing him down. So it's 20-6 after Kimball White Lake gets out to that early lead. Great pass here. Slama to Nate Shazinski to make it 20-12. And it's 20-12 at halftime. So after that huge lead for Kimball White Lake, Bonham goes back to work. They had a short field to start here in the third quarter. Keeper by Slama there to tie it up at 20. And then they get their first lead here on the screen to Shazinski that goes 56 yards.
Nate Shazinski doing all the work here. You can see how much team speed Bonham has.
Yes.
The size difference was noticeable for KWL, but Bonham had the athletes.
Bonham gets a field goal as well. They lead at 29-20 at the end of 3 quarters. And then Noah Heesh on a little dump in the flat there to make it 35-20. And that is the end for Coach Byron Pudwill and his guys. 35-20, 35 unanswered points as Bonham comes back and wins its first state championship as a 9-man team in the 35-20 victory.
After that first quarter, Joey Slama took that team on his shoulders, and after the game we talked to him and Coach Byron Pudwill.
I don't know, they're just resilient and they're smart, they're well coached. Well, we just told them not to, lose their head, and they didn't.
What was going through my mind was when we were down to them last year, and I wasn't going to let that happen again, and none of us were, and we just kept battling. It has been a long time coming, and we just knew our time would come, and we stick together, and we got one for the community.
B champ, 11-man championships back in 1994 and 95. This is their first championship since then, and they get it in 9AA. And it was fun this year to see your predictions at the beginning of the season, and you predicted the final or the regular season for every team in every class. What'd you predict Bonham would be?
Let me just tell the whole story here.
All right.
So I didn't have as much information as I needed on Bonham, obviously. Picked him at 4-4. I thought without Bryce Jasinski at quarterback, it would be a step down. Little did I know that Joey Slama would take over the way he did. And then I found out that the Bonham people got to see this prediction and did something with it. Let's hear from Coach Pudwill.
We weren't real happy. I can't remember the guy's name, but some guy picked us to be 4-4. So it was kind of a motivational tool. When you walk into our weight room, the picks by somebody, I can't remember, they're up on the door. They're in like 3 different places. So it was a good motivational tool.
Awesome, because you guys were emailing back and forth all year.
It was all in fun. But yes, Byron, almost after every week, is like, check the record. I'll see you next week. Yeah. And but it was all in fun, and I'm glad I could play a small little part. They
surprised a lot of people. It was great. I mean, a really good season for Bonham. Obviously, as they finish up as the 9AA state champions, their first championship.
Congrats, Bonham.
Way to go, Coach Pudwill. Congratulations. All right, in 11A, Jandy, the first 11-man game in the championships Thursday night at the Dome. T area coming in at 10-1, taking on Del Rapids, the surprise in the class, getting to the Dome with a 7-4 mark. And Carter Slykehouse went right to work early with an 80-yard touchdown run.
Talk about setting the tone. That 80-yard run right there shows you the determination these seniors had. They remember 2 years ago when they got to the Dome and just got housed by Madison.
Slykehouse had 121 yards, 80 of them coming there. And then Slykehouse
throws it
to Cade Clayberg, and that set up a 1-yard touchdown run by Wyatt Van Tol. So it's 13-0 at the end of the first quarter. And T is on their way. There was a lot of defense in the second quarter. A Van Tol touchdown here as well, but then lots of D in these next few minutes.
T hadn't given up a point in the playoffs. I mean, 2 shutouts. And then Hayden DeJean had a tremendous game in this one, getting a sack right there. Defense was definitely a huge part of this win for T area.
Titans up 20-0 at halftime, and then Hunter West going to Trevor Cox. Great catch by Cox to make it 27-0. Del Rapids got a touchdown run from Alex Kringen to make it 27-7. It was 30-7 T at the end of 3 quarters. And then they get a safety as well. They get West to Slykehouse for a 35-yard touchdown there.
Here's the safety, DeJean again in on that sack. And things got out of hand at that point. T just got it rolling on both sides of the football.
T, the class of 11A this year. They get the safety there from Hayden DeJean. And the Titans, again, here's that touchdown from Slykehouse.
Yeah, there was a point he was the leading receiver. Slykehouse leading receiver, leading rusher, and leading passer for a while in that game until West took over on the passing at the end.
Hunter West was an efficient 8 of 14, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air for Hunter West. There's the 11A champions. 39-7 is the final. This is the first football championship for T area.
Yeah, and they were very excited. We caught up with them after the game.
After I put that first one in, it kind of relieved some of the pressure. So
It feels amazing. It's just something we've always been dreaming of, and it just, you can't really describe it.
I'm at a loss for words right now. We've been dreaming for this since we were little kids. We just wanted to bring a title back home.
We all put lots of hours in the weight room, and Coach Kleberg is the one that puts us up to that, and he's going to keep that tradition going, and then we're just going to keep getting better and better as a school.
The guys played well. I mean, all those guys, our special teams, our kickoff team is unbelievable. Those guys fly down. They're like kamikaze guys, and they're fun to watch. So, it's just great for the whole team.
Wyatt Van Tol, you saw there was the MVP. Caleb Joffre was the outstanding lineman for T area, and this has been a great class for so many years.
Well, that's what I talked to Craig Kleberg after the game, because his son is a senior on this team, and he said, I've known these guys since kindergarten, and I knew they were going to be a great class all the way coming up, and they are special in basketball, in golf, in soccer, and now in football. Just a tremendous class.
And Carter Slykehouse was a great story because there was some doubt whether he was even going to play this year.
Whether he would have a leg.
Yeah.
I mean, they were considering amputation just a couple of months ago, and he comes out and plays like the player that we all know he can be. What a story.
All right, T area, your 11A champions in South Dakota high school football. When we come back, Jandy, we will get to the Friday games. Had the 9B championship, Cologne and Sully Buttes.
Don't want to miss it.
Go to overtime. 11B and the 11AA championship coming up. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Live in the high school football championship edition. And the games.
What a year.
On Friday, there's still one game left on Saturday, but 3 games here on Friday, Jandy. And let's start with 9B and some teams that were in the championship games last year. Sully Buttes was in the 9B championship last year, lost to Coleman Egan, and they would find heartbreak again this year.
Well, they played in the semis last year.
All right.
To get to the Dome.
And Cologne taking on Sully Buttes. Let's get to the 9B championship game. And the second play of the game right here, Jackson Kinzer going 49 yards for the score for Cologne.
You know what? They average over 60 points per game. So they score on the second play, and you think, man, we're going to go over 100 today. I thought they were going to go over 100.
Yeah, they almost combined for 100. Anyway, Sully Buttes got going a little bit. It was 14-6.
Back and forth after that score. We got all the way to halftime. It was 20-20.
All right. Bo Bertram had a couple of touchdowns for Cologne, Whitler to Johnson for a couple of touchdowns. So 20-20, and then we pick it up here. This is the first play of the third quarter. Kinzer to Bertram.
77 yards. That puts them up 26-20. And Cologne started to pull away a little bit here. Here's kind of a beast mode run by Chase Dufek. Usually we just show touchdowns, but that was pretty special. That set them up for a 7-yard touchdown by Jackson Kinzer. All of a sudden, they're up 34-20 before Nick Whitler comes back and closes the gap. But every time they would close the gap, Cologne would pull away again.
All right, into 3 quarters, Cologne up 34-28. First minute of the fourth quarter here, Chase Dufek again goes in to make it 42-28, 112 yards,
plunge,
2 touchdowns for Dufek. So Cologne is in the lead, but Sully Buttes comes back.
We got a little Cam Ogle action here. This would put them within 1 score. I love seeing a guy number 52 catch a ball down the field. It doesn't feel right, but great job by Cam Ogle.
All right, makes it a 42-36 game.
Here's the play of the game.
This is in the final minute of the game. Whitler to Grant Johnson, 96 yards to tie it at 42.
Nobody in the building. Down 2 scores with just over a minute left. Thought they could do it, but they came down. Now they have to go for 2.
Got a chance
to win it.
to go ahead.
Oh!
All right, so it's 42-42 going to overtime. Nick Whitler had a huge game, 359 yards passing and 5 touchdowns, by the way, for Sully Buttes. Cologne in overtime. Dufek touchdown. Cowboys go ahead 48-42. Sully Buttes, it's 4th down.
This is the 3rd down play first.
All right.
And they stuff him to force the 4th down. Now this is your last chance. Oh. Didn't happen.
Cowboys pull it out, even though Sully Buttes had that big comeback in the final minutes to tie it at 42 apiece. Cologne is your 9B champion, 48-42, and you can peruse some of the huge numbers here. Again, Whitler through the air was monstrous with 5 touchdown passes.
This game, it was just crazy. It was the most fun I've had at the Dome in a long time. Just watching the comeback by Sully Buttes. and Cologne pushed them away, and then Sully Buttes comes back, and then they hit that 96-yard touchdown with 43 seconds to go. That place was electric. But Cologne found a way to get it done, and after the game, we talked to Cologne, some of their players, and we even got to talk to Mark Seffner of Sully Buttes.
But that long one, that was the most exciting thing ever. If you had a mic over there, that guy was catching me, I was screaming for my life because I could see him coming.
But there at the end, we went hard and we finally stopped him, and Dawson stood up, his guy, and we got a tackle.
The first thing we talked about getting in the huddle is we're 6 inches away from a championship, guys. We've had our chances to end this game now. Earlier in the game, we got to end it now. Getting the ball in number 10's hands, we had a blitz dialed up, and got some pressure off the edge and forced a bad pass, and D-backs were in the right place at the right time, so worked out.
Really, I don't even remember it. I thought it was run right away, but it's a good thing I stayed back and just was right there at the right moment.
Made that play and I got an extra point. Just be the other way around, but one play short.
You kind of feel bad for Mark Seffner. He's been so close so many years, but you feel great for Cologne and what Ben Condon has done in just his second year as head coach at Cologne. Great win for them.
Sully Buttes finishes 11-1, and Cologne 12-0, undefeated as the 9B state championship.
They could all be like
champions. All right, in 11B, Jason, we had a rematch of last year's championship with Sioux Falls Christian and Bridgewater Emory Ethan. Sioux Falls Christian won that one 27-12, and the Chargers, they got her done in this one. Dawson Mulder with a touchdown to make it 6-0 early, and that was the end of the first quarter. Sioux Falls Christian in the lead, and then Mulder to Mitchell Goodberry.
Yeah, they completed 2 passes in this game. This is one of them. Just throw it up there and let your boy get it.
14-0 Chargers in the lead, and then taking advantage of a turnover, Bridgewater Emory Ethan. Fumble.
Goodberry, by the way, forcing a fumble. So this is right before halftime, and they've got another chance to really seal this thing up, and guess what they do?
This is the other pass.
The other pass they completed.
Goodberry again going up and getting that one. 22-0, Sioux Falls Christian in the lead at halftime.
Yeah, they were excited.
Go to the third. Parker Nelson going back to work. Nelson had a massive game.
He was feeling it, and there's something about him in the dome that go together pretty well. But a little bright spot here as Brady Hawkins fights his way through a potential fumble, picks it back up, and takes it in for 28 yards.
Yeah, Hawkins was great all year. Jamin Aaron was great all year. Bridgewater Emory Ethan 10-1 coming into this game, but too much ground game and too much Parker Nelson.
I mean, that was obviously the game plan. Getting the ball over 30 times. This is what Parker Nelson does, and he's done that throughout the playoffs now. And he took this game into his own hands and sealed it up. Great job by those seniors right there.
Sioux Falls Christian sets an 11B championship record for rushing in this game, 435 yards. And Parker Nelson, the MVP, 34 carries, 245 yards, and 2 touchdowns to finish off the season as Sioux Falls Christian finishes at 10-2 and the state champions.
Here, battling through those first 3 rounds, we played 3 great teams, and today we came out with a ton of energy, put some points on the board, and our defense played amazing today. O-line played amazing today. Just played a great all-around game.
How we battle and how close we've grown together. It's after the first Canton loss and after T. We had our doubts, we had our injuries, but the way we battle, the way we come back, we have a saying: we bend but we don't break, and that showed this season.
I want people to have respect for us. We've worked really hard over the last however many years when the program started to get to this point, and I think the guys coming up behind me are great too, and I think they could do some great things.
I remember my 3rd and 4th season, I was thinking, do I know how to win a football game as a coach? We had beat some of the smaller schools or the teams we were supposed to beat, but can we as a coaching staff win big games? And my coaches, I just can't give them enough credit. I believe that I have the best coaching staff in the state. So yes, my name's up here, but it's not about me. It's about the guys that are around me, and they prepare all weekend long, and they take time away from their families, and they step it up. And I'm just so proud to be around those guys.
Slowly built that program up, and they are the powerhouse right now in 11B.
I mean, when you ask them, and I did ask them about what do you want people to say when they hear Sioux Falls Christian football, And they said, well, it's great because now you say that and you get respect. And that was not always the case for Sioux Falls Christian football. So congrats to all the coaches, all the players, especially that senior class that really got it done over the last 2 years.
I say they can run the football.
Oh, yeah, they can run the football.
Sioux Falls Christian, 435 yards to set the record as they win the 11B championship. Second straight season, back-to-back now for Sioux Falls Christian in 11B. And the late game at the Dome tonight, Jandy. This one just finished up not too long ago. We got Pierre and the Huron Tigers in the Dome for the first time in 26 years. Pierre, though, goes
Jack
to work
Maher
early. That's Garrett Stout to Jack Maher. Stout had a massive game as well for the Governors in this one. 3 touchdown passes. Stout to Andrew Coverdale here, 76 yards.
He missed some time due to injury over the last couple of weeks, but he's back. He gives them an extra weapon on the outside. It looked like an avalanche here off the start for Pierre, but watch out. The Tigers had something to say.
Govs out to that 13-0 lead. And then Jet McGurr to Danon Huber. And the Tigers cut it to 13-7. And then McGurr was 11 of 28, 215 yards. And 3 touchdowns. He went to Derek Simmonsman for a touchdown. Huron had the lead 14-13, but Garrett Stout going back to work. He would eventually score a touchdown here to put the Govs back up 19-14.
You know, in the first half, you could see maybe the leadership wasn't totally there. The second half, Garrett Stout's leadership really shone through.
Tigers missed a tackle there. That's McGuire Rasky going in to make it 25-14. Govs in the lead, feeling it, but Huron comes back though. Jet McGurr, this is his 3rd touchdown pass, goes to Cooper Freiberger.
Oh my goodness.
Freiberger takes it in. It's 25-20, Jandy.
Huron is pumped up, and they should be. At this point, I don't know how many people gave them a chance. They were within 5.
Govs, though, come right back with Stout, 23 yards to Gage Gehring, another one of their stars this year. That sets up Garrett Stout touchdown run to make it 31-20.
That was the one. That was the one that changed the momentum in this game.
And the Govs tack on one more touchdown, and they will go back-to-back as state champs. 38-20 is the final over the Tigers. Again, Huron kept coming back, but the Govs just too much in this one. Pierre had 3 fumbles, got them all back. They got some breaks and took advantage of them, and 38-20 the final.
That stat on the bottom of the Pierre right there, allowed -1 yards rushing.
Yeah, 15 carries for Huron, -1.
They contain Chipper Schillingstad, and Governor's defense probably doesn't get enough credit for what they did this year. Let's hear from them after the game.
I mean, they reminded us of Harrisburg last year. I mean, we had a rough first half in Harrisburg last year, and we came back and won it, and reminded us of that and just how to overcome the adversity.
You know, I think this team's grit more than anything else has been something that I haven't seen a lot of in anywhere. You know, we were down. We're making the tradition of this being down at halftime in the state championship, I guess. But you know, finding ways to get out of tough situations and to continue to battle, and you know, like I said, just to never quit and to continue to condition and wear teams down.
All right, Govs go back-to-back. They finished 10-2 this year. Huron evens out at 6-6. Tigers got up to that great start this season, and good to see Huron get back to the Dome, even though they come up short.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of a question on a fumble late in the second half, but
right after Huron had scored, they thought they had forced a fumble on a kickoff, but Pierre got it back.
Yeah, and Pierre just took it and ran from there, and they did great on the run defense. I mean, big year.
And Stout and these guys are some players. Peyton Zabel graduates, and they continue on.
And they've got a lot of juniors. Stout's a junior, Rasky's a sophomore, Gray Zabel's a junior. They'll be back. They've got a lot of studs coming back next year.
Congrats to Stevie Steele. He's done a nice job out there with the Governors as they go back-to-back as state champs. All right, there's one game left in South Dakota. That is Saturday night at 7:30 in the 11 AAA championship game. You got Washington and Brandon Valley both at 9-2. They played each other in the Dome 2 years ago. Washington won that. Washington's won 3 state championships in a row.
They've won 3 in a row. They look like the monsters here, but this is a lot more even than people think if you haven't really followed high school football this year. Washington has now won 8 games in a row after a 3-2 start. By the way, Brandon Valley was also 3-2 after 5 games in the season. This was the season opener. It feels like an eternity ago, but Washington pretty much contained this game, got a 28-14 win. We saw a few big plays in that game from Thomas Skolton to Carter Althoff, of course. But Skolton, at this point in the season, had thyroid problems, was about 10 pounds lighter than he is right now. Jaden Johansson was just coming up on some issues of his own with his appendix. So you almost discount that first game. And over the last couple of weeks, what Brandon Valley did against O'Gorman, I mean, they are playing like the best team in the state. On the other hand, Jaden Johansson's playing the best ball I've seen him play in his career over these last couple of weeks. We did talk to Chad Garrow and Chad Statham, by the way, to kind of preview the big game on Saturday.
You know what? It was kind of like us at the beginning of the year. You know, they had a lot of young guys coming in, and we knew that they were going to get better. They've got a lot of talented kids, young guys, and Coach Garrow's about as good as they get. So we know that, you know, there's potentially that we could play them again, you know, but we were just focusing on us this week and getting better at what we do, and it showed tonight, and now we'll go against BV.
You can take some of the base schemes that they do and the base schemes that we do and things like that, but you know, it's execution. I mean, that's what's changed. We're not doing a lot different than we did at the beginning of the year. We're running a few more heavy sets and things like that, but you know, we're not doing a lot different. They're not doing a lot different. They're just executing better.
All right, Danny, we know about some of the stars, the skill guys that you've talked about with, you know, Jed Anderson, Gabe Pearson at wide receiver, along with Johansson for Washington. Jesse Steffel, great running back at Brandon Valley, and Altoff and Skolton playing well. The lines, who's got the advantage there? It's going to come.
You know,
always comes down to that. Right?
Exactly. The improvement on the offensive line for Washington has been huge. They've started a freshman left tackle all year. He is not playing like a freshman anymore. Peyton Newsma on the defensive line for Washington has been outstanding. But this Brandon Valley defense, I mean, they've improved more than anybody this season. They didn't have to blitz O'Gorman and forced 4 interceptions against Zach Norton last week. They put the heat on without having to send the blitz.
A couple of sophomores as well for Brandon Valley that are playing on that defense, right?
Exactly. Jackson Hilton, Colbeck, they've got guys that they have brought in throughout the year that have just gotten better and better and better. I'm really impressed with Brandon Valley. I'm really looking forward to one of those 11 AAA classics that we've had over the last couple of years.
Washington beat Roosevelt 20-19 in the championship last year in 11 AAA. That game at 7:30 on Saturday night. Let's go back to Jody Norstedt up in West Fargo to wrap things up there. Jody?
Yeah. Give me Washington in that matchup, guys.
I think we're gonna, we'll see. I'll go against you on that one.
Oh, really?
I will.
All right, whatever. I don't know much about South Dakota anyway.
Yes, you do.
I was terrible on my picks for North Dakota, by the way, for the state championship games. But you know, 4 great games. I actually tweeted, this has to be one of the best Dakota Bowls ever, right? It's gotten 30 likes so far. I think a lot of people thought it was pretty impressive. Let's get to the rundown, though. Thompson winning the state title 42-28, overcoming the injury to Caden Schwabe in the victory. Langdon Edmore Munich winning 20-18. Simon Raufo, 2 touchdowns passing, 1 touchdown rushing. He was phenomenal. In Class 2A, 28-21, Shanley, the champs, 28 unanswered points. Cade Busek and Austin Manuel both over 100 yards rushing. And then the 3A championship game, Will Madler was fantastic. He goes out as a state champ, 2nd team All-State as a sophomore and a junior. I think he's going to be 1st team All-State this year, 21-16.
In the 9B game in South Dakota.
And it went overtime, and it was a thrilling finish. Cologne's 2nd championship in the last 3 years.
Canastota Freeman gets it done big time over Howard in 9A.
Yeah, they get a huge title. Their first title in a couple years. First as a co-op at Canastota Freeman Pride.
Bottom, the 11B state champions. They beat Kimball White Lake 35-20 after being down 20-0.
Unbelievable. Down 20-0, 35 straight points. Joey Slama played unbelievably.
And 11B, Sioux Falls Christian back-to-back. They beat Bridgewater Emeryton 43-8.
They looked like a different team than they did in the middle of the season, didn't they, Tom? They've improved so much these last few weeks. Congrats to them.
Got it rolling at Sioux Falls Christian as they go back-to-back. T-Area. First state championship for the Titans. They beat Del Rapids 39-7.
You can tell how much that means to that community to win a state title for their football team.
And in 11AA, the Governors from Pierre, they go back-to-back. A win over Huron on Friday night, 38-20.
Another back-to-back win, and this time with a whole new cast of characters. You're right. Give a lot of credit to Steve Steele, but what a phenomenal week for everybody.
Joe? You guys get a game ball for that.
You are the man. Keep that one. That one's for you. All right, 11 AAA game, Brandon Valley and Washington. Jandy will have coverage on that online and next week on Midco Sports Tonight. Thanks for watching Varsity Sports Live.